Hi everyone, my name is Peter and thanks for joining me at Our Worship Sound. A few weeks ago I posted a video on how to make your chords sound better, and I want to kind of keep the ball rolling with that and do a video on how to use rhythm to make your chords sound better. And let me first of all show you a couple ways that I see and hear people playing with a lot of times as they use rhythm with their chords. So first way that I hear a lot is using arpeggios, so just breaking up the chords into individual notes. So that's one way. Another way is by taking more of an approach that kind of almost creates a rhythm guitar type of effect, where you play two or more notes from the chord and just play them repeatedly. Okay, so those are two common approaches. I'm not saying that they're wrong and that they're incorrect, but I want to show you a different way. First of all, piano is not necessarily the best instrument always to try to drive the rhythm forward. Certainly drums are more apt at doing that. But also, if you have guitar players in your band, they're going to be more geared toward driving the rhythm in that way. So we don't necessarily have to be the ones pushing the rhythm forward, and we can let the texture and the melodic qualities of the piano come through and kind of do what we're best at. So going back to what I said in the last video, if we can be really thoughtful about the notes we can play, we can create some really interesting movement even in a simple chord progression. So here's another option of just playing one chord or playing one note per chord change. So just very simple. But there's some interesting movement there because of the notes that I'm choosing to play. Now, if we wanted to take a step further and add a little bit more of a rhythm character to it, we could play an extra note per measure. 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so we can play a little bit different note in the chord to create a little bit more movement that way if we need to. Now, let's say that you either don't have a drummer or a guitar player, or for whatever reason the music calls for it, and you just need to be the one kind of pushing the rhythm forward a little bit more on the piano. So here are a couple of things that you can do to keep your chords sounding good and provide more of a rhythmic element. First of all, and this is a little bit more subtle way to do it, but you can create some movement with the left hand. So for example, you could play root, fifth, and octave with the left hand on each of these chords to create a little bit more rhythm drive. Okay, so like I said, that's subtle, but it does add a little something going on. Now, as far as what we can do with the right hand, instead of playing more of a harmonic approach where we're repeating notes of the chord, what we can do is use melodic elements to create more of a rhythm texture to what we're doing. So here are a couple of ways we can add some melodic elements to the right hand for rhythm purposes. First of all, we can use what we call passing notes or passing tones. If we have, for example, an E chord with an E and a G sharp in it, I can use the F sharp in between them to create some extra rhythms. So let me do that with the E chord, and then for the A chord, I'll use the D sharp that comes in between these two notes. And then I'll fill out the other chords as well. Okay, so a very simple technique. This is based on knowing what the scale is. So you do need to know what other notes are in the scale. So I'm playing in the key of E major, and I know that the E major scale is this. So if you know your scale theory, that's going to help you there. You can also do it by trial and error. If you were trying to figure out what note is going to go between this E and the G sharp, you could not right. That also doesn't sound quite right. That sounds right. So you can do the trial and error way that way. Okay, so using passing notes is one way that you can add a melodic element to also add some rhythm qualities. The other way that you can use melodies to add a rhythmic character to the chords you're playing is going beyond passing notes and just kind of being unlimited by the notes that you choose. And if you're familiar with the other notes in the scale and how they sound and how you can put them together, then you can mix any of them in with these chords. And some of you are going to see where I'm going with this. But as an example, so that's going beyond passing notes. It's just using any note from the scale as I'm kind of hearing the ideas and using that to add rhythm to the chords. So this method is explained in a lot more detail in my full-length piano video course called Fluent Piano. And if you follow the link, if you put your cursor up in the upper right-hand corner of this video, you'll see a link to where you can find out more about that course. You can even try the first 2 sessions completely for free. And that will explain how you can not only learn how to get around different notes within the scales, how you can go through all 12 keys, but it'll also show you a lot of different rhythmic possibilities, things that you can work in with your chords. So I hope that helps you to see how you can use rhythm with your chords to still allow the quality of your chords to come through and still provide some rhythmic drive to what you're playing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.